Here's a story from Grandpa for my three favorite little girls, Emma, Ayla, and Audrey. It's October, which means Halloween is coming. I love Halloween. I think it's my favorite holiday. I love to see people dress up and act silly. I love to see people giving candy to kids, even though I know it's not a healthy thing to do. But especially, I love scary stories. I've got scary stories lined up for every week this month, so I hope you really like scary stories too. Here's today's story, the scariest story you've ever heard. Written by Ron Karras, designed by Arthur Lynn. Get ready for the scariest story you've ever heard. It's much too scary for pictures, so I plan to use words. Chills will be spreading from your head to your toes. Actually, I'm scared to begin, but here's how it goes. One dreary day in a house just like yours, thunder was booming and the rain did it pour. It was minutes till midnight when the power went out. The boys, they woke up with a scream and a shout. Lying in bed and certainly scared for what happened next, they were not prepared. First there was a creak, then there was a crack. What could it be, and would it attack? Their tiny hearts began to rapidly pump, but it only became worse when they heard thump, thump, thump. They cowered in fear and hid under their covers. The monster approaching could easily eat brothers. Grrr was the next sound that he made, but the boys were confused as it started to fade. Even though the intruder went farther away, this would not be the end of his haunting that day. He began to clang as he was stomping around. The boys heard a bang as something fell to the ground. "Arr!" he yelled. This could not be good, for now the boys knew in the kitchen he stood. What was he looking for? Why was he furious? As scared as they were also quite curious. Against better judgment, they got out of their beds. They stood at the door, blankets over their heads. First they heard slurp, followed by crunch, crunch, crunch. The dog whimpered and barked. Did he get eaten for lunch? Then for a moment things were eerily silent. If they opened the door, would the beast become violent? The silence was broken by drip, drop, drip, drop. Was this just a nightmare, and when would it stop? The boys had enough. They knew hiding didn't matter. As they left their dark room, there was a shriek and a splatter. They crept down the hall, preparing for doom, but were shocked and surprised as they entered the room. There he was, a spoon in his hand. This was not a horrible monster, but a familiar man. "Dad!" they cried. "What on earth are you doing?" Dad couldn't respond, for he was fervently chewing. Their fear turned to laughter with the words that would follow. Dad took a drink and proceeded to swallow. "I'm sorry I scared you. Things are not what they seem. It was all for a bowl of delicious ice cream." And you see the dad sitting on the sofa with a bowl of ice cream on the ground and the dog licking it up, and there's ice cream all over everything. And on this page, they show us all the sounds and the innocent things that were happening to create those scary sounds. They weren't really so scary, but when you're alone in the dark and it's raining out and there's no power, innocent things can sound scary, which is what happened here. And here on the last page, they show us another book that the author and illustrator have put together called It's Not That Big a Deal. I may have to take a look and see what that book is like and see if we want to read it for the videos. And that's the end of the story. I remember as a kid how much fun it was to get scared, at least a certain kind of harmless scared. Except don't ask me about going down into our basement at night and hearing sudden strange noises. That wasn't fun at all. But kids trying to scare each other? That was a lot of fun. And letting yourself get scared by something that turned out to be completely harmless, like in this story, that was the best scared at all. Always remember that Grandpa loves you, especially when you try to scare me, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.